Namaskar everyone and a very good afternoon. Getting candid, Swayam becomes all the viewers, all the Swayambhus and all the aspiring Swayambhus and also the parents and well-wishers, our well-wishers and your well-wishers. We are getting plenty of mails and messages from viewers. एका मेल मध्ये असं लिहिलं होतं, मैम आप लोगो क्यों नहीं बताती स्वयंभू का? तो जवाब लिखने से अच्छा है कि मैं आपको बताऊं. मैंने उनको जवाब तो नहीं दिया लेकिन आपको बताती हूँ. ये स्वयंभू गेटिंग कैंडिड जो है वो लोगों के लिए नहीं है, लोगों के लिए है. तो मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि मुझे लोगो डिस्प्ले करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. ये मेरा प्रोफेशन नहीं, मेरा पैशन है. लेकिन जब हमारा प्रोफेशन होता है तो ऑफ कोर्स हमको मार्केटिंग तो करनी पड़ेगी, और वो भी सटल मार्केटिंग, क्योंकि बिना मार्केटिंग के न प्रोफेशन आगे बढ़ेगा न बिजनेस आगे बढ़ेगा. और थोड़ी बहुत मार्केटिंग तो हम अपनी जिंदगी में भी करते ही हैं. यस और नो? एक बच्चा भी जानता है कि अगर उसे पिकनिक को जाना है तो मार्केटिंग करके बराबर वो अपनी मम्मी डैडी से पैसे लेकर तुरंत पिकनिक के लिए तैयारी कर लेता है. So I think a subtle marketing is essential, no doubt. But when it comes to professions, there are certain which we need to follow. In those circumstances, we cannot adopt the typical marketing strategies. So then your marketing becomes your work, your service, the value you give your customers. And that is the bestest marketing. So let us understand from a fantastic Swaayambhu here, what is profession all about? And if you are pursuing CA, CS or any professional course and have got plans to set up your own profession, let us have a roadmap from Shri Makarand Joshi sir. So namaskar and welcome Makarand ji.
Namaskar. Thank you for calling me.
Sir, since you are from Mumbai, I will speak to you in Hindi, English and Marathi. Are you comfortable with that, sir?
All comfortable with all three.
Okay. Sir, is it okay if I call you Joshi, sir?
You can call me Makarand, actually that is much better.
Okay. I'll call you Joshi, sir, because Makarand will be quite a mouthful. Sir. So let us understand from Joshi sir, Shri Makarand Joshi sir, कि हमको अपने प्रोफेशन को आगे कैसे बढ़ाना है, उसके पहले उसकी नींव कैसे रखनी है, और उनके जो जर्नी है, उनकी जो जर्नी है, उससे हम सीखेंगे that in case I want to set up my professional practice, what roadmap I need to follow. And why should we listen to Makarand ji? Let us understand why. Makarand ji has done his company secretary and graduation together. He has done his articleship from Bayer India Limited. He is practicing secretary since 20 years and he is the founder partner of MMJC Associates, which is also one of the largest company secretaries firm. And he has a team of around 200 people. And like Tata Motors, Birla Group, and top 100 corporates and 1500 plus SME companies too. Their services are into IPO, mergers and acquisition, compliances of corporate laws, family trust consultation, company formation to exit procedures. He is also the member of Legal Representatives Committee of Chamber of Tax Consultants and Secretarial Standard Board of ICSI. And of course, he is a speaker on multiple platforms. He just practices what he preaches and just preaches what he practices. So let's move on, sir. Sir, आपल्या कॉलेज विषयी आम्हाला काहीतरी सांगा. Were you a front runner or a backbencher in school? And how did you become such a successful professional, sir?
Okay, so school मध्ये तर, I always say that schools don't make bright childs. Actually, bright childs make the big school. देव भक्तामुळे मोठा होतो. तसं स्कूल पण मुलांमुळे मोठी होते. तर I was fortunate enough and I schooled in Mulund, Pamandraw Muranjan, and at that time every year it used to have at least 2-3 candidates whose names are appearing in merit list. At that time, merit list was very common. So I was not a meritorious person whose name appeared in merit list ever. Rather, in my school and in my class, there were so many people. Everybody was smarter than me. So my rank always used to be 45s, 50s in a class of 60. So I was not a meritorious student that way. I was a very okay type student in my childhood. But I was very studious. I was very studious. I was very sincere towards whatever I'm doing. Never was there an opportunity for any teacher or my parents to scold me for not learning or not studying. I used to do on my own. My mother was a primary teacher, and probably that was the reason. In the college, when I moved to college, actually, in my school days, I also was learning tabla, and I was very serious to pursue my career in tabla. So I decided not to go for science, but to go for commerce. And then commerce, I decided not to do CA, but to do CS. And thereafter, I was amongst those who cleared exam, and you have read out in my CV that along with graduation, I could complete CS. But in my school days, I never thought that I am a very brilliant boy. I thought that I'm an ordinary, not too dumb, not too sharp, kind of.
Sir, after your completion of professional course, you went into internship. So how was the internship experience?
Yeah, so I was lucky again. So in my life, I have been blessed with nice people around me throughout my life. I have always been blessed. So one of the well-wisher, Mr. Makarand Joshi, who was company secretary of Bayer India then, we were known to each other because of family relationship. So he called me, and my biodata also we created in his office, and I got internship. So I was so lucky. I didn't have to hunt for anything. Okay. And then I worked in Bayer India as a German company. So in Germans, if you know, Germans are always perfect in terms of their preparation, their planning. They're too perfect. There is nothing sudden in German companies. Everything is planned years ahead, and planning takes years of time. Planning doesn't happen overnight. Planning takes years of time. So it was very slow, steady, happy-go-lucky, all facilities, best employer. So probably had I been retained at Bayer India, probably I would not have ventured into practice. That's the story. So the training was very happy-go-lucky and very comfortable, not grilled one. Actually, not the grilled one. So I didn't get much of exposure because the company was very gigantic and there were not many transactions in it. It was smooth. Like past year, whatever has happened, same thing next year will also happen. Very much predictable. So it was less dynamic during my training period, but I learned how employer takes care of his employees. So that was a very important learning for me in Bayer India. Dashera Puja, which I did there. Last 20 years of my practice, I have been doing Dashera Puja and distributing sweet boxes to all our staff members. Such type of lot of good practices, which were labor oriented. And in Germany, if you know, labor is respected a lot. So although I was a company secretary, and therefore I was not in a labor class that way, but organization's approach towards people that I learned the most, I think, in that organization.
Sir, then during your internship, when you were exposed to various methods and various elements of working, so as a company secretary, which aspect you liked most?
No, I had a boss. He works now in he works in Pune, Vikram Munje, and he developed an habit. In those days, Google was also not there. I started my articleship, I think in 98. So Google was also new and internet was not so common to
Right.
offices. So he used to read newspaper every day and he used to give me paper cuttings. And then, so all important news, all important transactions, he used to track. And he used to ask me to cut those, paste it on a white paper, write it down which day, which newspaper, and then file it in a respective file, various files for various subjects. And that developed a habit of reading newspaper in articleship. That was very, very interesting habit which I developed even. So every day reading and organizing your data, organizing your knowledge, organizing your information properly was very, very important thing which I learned there. In terms of other, so I am trying to keep things general, not company secretary learning. There were many, but that would be too specific for a company secretary. But organizing, preparing, preparations, in Germans, the preparation. They are perfection. To the perfection level, the preparation happens in German culture. So that's also one thing which probably it got cultivated in those days. I was too young, I was just 21 when I started my articleship. So these were few things which we did few assignments, and then I got exposure to interact with big law firms as a trainee. So I used to be like a boy, you carry a paper, do a Xerox, deliver, go to the director's office, get signature, make the files, all such kind of, the last leg of the work I used to do. But I got exposure, Vayesh Malegam in chartered accountancy or in commerce field. Vayesh Malegam is the most respected and Bhishma Pitama personality in chartered accounting personality. So he was on our board, interacting with him as a small boy, but those exposures were just amazing.
Right. Sir, so when you started working with such stalwarts and such amazing people, you learned a lot something besides CS.
Yeah.
So when you were learning and when you were enthusiastic, at what point of time you thought you should start your own practice? Because when you have the security of a job, when you know X amount is coming religiously at this day of the month, then that security makes you complacent, right? Yeah. And more the security, more the paycheck, more the binding that I don't want to go from here. It is your comfort zone, right? And that security, I think, obstructs your growth and evolvement. So how that happened in your life? Why did you take a decision of setting your own practice?
So what happened is, Sangeeta, if you would have asked me this question during my articleship, that do you want to do your practice or you want to go in a corporate job? I had no iota of doubt that I will be in corporates. I had no iota of doubt that I will be in corporates because I had not visualized at that time. So as I said, in training period, I was very happy-go-lucky. I just started career and finished. After completion of training, I was not retained in Bayer India. Fortunately, unfortunately, incidentally, there was no requirement, and therefore I had to hunt for a job outside. And then I got a job in one Indian company. And then I worked there as a company secretary for 12 months. And while working there, actually I got a lot of exposure because my boss was very perfectionist, Tamil Brahmin, typical South Indian perfectionist professional. And I learned a lot under him in terms of him. He improvised my skills as a company secretary. But in a year, I got a little bored. What happened is, so although I was learning with him, I also got bored because when I was doing my CS, I was habituated of setting a target and achieving it. Okay. And then that kind of kick I was missing. So what's my next goal? That was not, I was not clear. And then every day going to the office and, assisting your boss or doing the same thing, after a year, then you do majority of the things you do repeat. And few of the things will be routine. And then I was not getting that kick. Maza nahi aa raha. So So I felt that मजा नहीं यार, पूरी जिंदगी तो मैं ऐसे नहीं कर सकता. I cannot live life like this, where there is no goal for me. What is my goal? And so I was thinking on those lines. What is my goal? And then at that time, God favor, things happen in such a way, right time, right thing, right place, right person. So in 2000, in professional life, in company secretary's life, year 2000, before year 2000 and after year 2000, there is a big difference. In science, they say pre-Newton era and post-Newton era. Or in technology world, before Google and after Google. There is a information. It's a big difference. So in corporate world, pre-2000 and post-2000, there was big difference. Of course, this is hindsight. When I look back, I am commenting this. But at that time, there were some amendments in Companies Act, which made me think that if I want to ever, now I am a company secretary, and I had no guts to do one more degree and migrate to another profession. Neither I felt that migrating to other profession will give me that kick. Okay. So, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So then there was an amendment in Companies Act, and that opened opportunity for practicing for company secretary. And then I thought, आज कल करे सो आज कर, आज करे सो अब. And then one day morning, when I had shifted from Mulund to Badlapur at that time. Badlapur to Nariman Point, I used to travel. And that day morning, I had only one song in my mind. I had not decided that I will resign. I was all contemplating mode.
Right.
And there was one song in my mind, and in hindsight, I'm a very filmy person that way, I'm a cricket lover and a film. So I love songs, I love movies. So there is a Marathi song, Akashi Jhepa Ghere Pakhara, Sodi Sonia Cha Pindra. So throughout the day for 1 and 2 hours, I was just, singing that song in my mind. I don't know why. And then when I look back, it's very easy for me to find out a mood, which song I am singing that will tell what's my mood is. That day morning, I went to office and something wrong happened with, in our office. And then I went to come back to my seat. As if I was just, I wrote my resignation letter, called up my fiancée because my marriage was fixed at that time. And I told her that, look, I'm going to resign. I want you to say yes. She said, you know what you're doing, right? I said, I'll figure out. Let's see. So it was not planned. But that day, but the trigger was kick. And this happens with every professional life. At some time you are at, climbing, you're enjoying. And when you are climbing, somebody is telling you, okay, after you reach to that pinnacle, then life ban gayi. Then you sit down and enjoy, But actually, it's not that way, And the people who are habituated of conquering challenges, they cannot settle down. So the one thing which I learned is if you want to retain talent, you need to give them challenge. You need to give them space. You need to give them responsibility. You need to give them recognition. Now, these are very, very essential elements for an individual professional satisfaction. Money is important. But if these parameters are there, then he would not look at money to an extent. And there in life, you will always earn money which is more than somebody and which is less than somebody. So you can always look at somebody who is drawing much more salary than what you are drawing or making more money, or you will have many people who are drawing less. So that's a very subjective thing. And this degrees or this professional knowledge can always give you enough strength to make your life. That's not a big challenge. But these aspects make any individuals, if he's satisfied that yes, I'm growing, yes, my efforts are recognized, yes, I am rewarded, yes, I have a space where nobody else is encouraging, then individual performers are very happy. And that's how I think
it happened.
It happened. I left the job.
So the Pakaru subconsciously had already decided, and you were just waiting for a pretext. Actually, right?
So I don't blame any situation. This was nor in any individual. It was my destiny. Yeah.
Correct, correct. And then, like you very correctly mentioned, that when you are rising, you are going north, then things are different. But when there comes a time where you have a plateau,
Right.
you are not growing anymore. There is nothing new any
Right.
longer. That is the time you feel frustrated.
Right.
And your frustration, I think, is like a pain.
Hmm.
So when you feel that pain, you take some measures.
Yeah.
So I think exactly when you had that frustration, you took a measure.
Yeah.
You decided to work, and that's how you got into profession. Sir, but tell me very honestly, you're very young, you just had completed your articleship, and 12 months of work is very, very short time, right? So when you jumped into profession, were you aware of the or I started it actually?
Actually, I could not hear you properly. Can you repeat again? Sorry, Sangeeta.
From which point? From which point?
No, this question I could not hear you properly.
Okay. My question was that when you decided to get into profession,
Yeah.
okay, set up your own profession,
Yeah.
were you aware of the challenges, or was it an eye opener once you started it actually?
Actually, I was not aware, and I did not face challenges.
Okay. Okay.
uh,
Okay.
Let me be
Okay.
very modest. I was in that nasha, of acquiring knowledge and coming to use, that knowledge getting used for somebody, and I earning money was a nasha for me. So I had no pain at all. At least in the, as you grow older and then you start analyzing, and then you start thinking, "Arey, aisa hoga to kya hoga, waise hoga to kya hoga." I was too young, so I had no iota of doubt that I will fail, because, as I told you, when I was narrating the story, I was about to get married, and then 6 months down the line, I had a marriage plan, and I had only worked for 1 year, so the saving was not nothing.
Right. Right.
So I had to be successful in practice. So I had no choice. I had no choice. So,
Sir, but passion doesn't bring ration automatically or immediately. So how did you
yeah,
get your first set of clients?
as I told, this is very interesting point. I can tell you various skills of getting client, or technique of getting client, but thinking is most important. In Shivaji Maharaj story, Gad ala pan Simha gela. Allow me to narrate it in Marathi or Hindi.
Yes.
There
Yes.
was Tanaji who was given a task of winning Kondana, and there was a
Right.
movie of Ajay Devgan also very recently. But there is a very, very, very important event in that war which that movie has not showed. Let me narrate. After Tanaji was lost, he died, and the Maratha soldiers were trying to run away because the leader was no more. And Tanaji's brother, Suryaji, he cut the ropes. He closed the option to exit. Now you have no option to exit, boss. Either you win or die. If you have an option to exit, then your mind tries to run away, whenever there's a difficult time. I had no option because I had already committed a girl that I will get married. And it was only 6 months which I had to ensure that I'm financially stable. And therefore, fortunately, there was no doubt in my mind, and therefore it happened. So this mindset, how to create an ardent desire, how to create a pressure on yourself, which is a positive pressure which is driving you, which is not depressing you, but which is driving you. That kind of a situation sometimes God creates you, sometimes God gives you a wisdom to create it on your own. You can also create artificial situation, commit to somebody, and ensure that you are on you're alert and you're focused. So this is one. So thinking on the point of view of psychology, on the point of view of mindset, this plays the most important role. And another important broader role which everybody talks about is, in business you have to solve customers' problem. So there has to be some problem which customer is facing, and that your solution, your service or your product should be solving some customer's problem. Then your product or service should be so good that can solve the problem. And then you have to ensure that whatever is the market of that service or product, your product or service is available. So this is a science of doing business.
Correct.
So I already had, as I told, there was an amendment in Companies Act, and therefore their market was set. The regulator has told that you need to avail ABC service from a company secretary, from a practicing company, and it had opened a new market for them. You know, that was not, those companies were not availing services of company secretaries at all
Earlier.
till then. So it was a like now today is the e-commerce. You know, you cannot move out. You have to do this Zoom meeting. So everybody jumped into, in 2 months, Reliance created GeoMeet. Imagine us, you know, because there is a market is already created. Now, if you have the best product, you can make some money. If you do not have best product, or if you're too busy with your own things and you have no time to pay attention to that market, then the opportunities are lost. And many settled companies, and this is why second learning, that many settled professionals lose eyesight on some good opportunities because they have no hunger. So if our audience is young, then they are hungry. So hunger is there, appetite is there. Now we need to look at whether I have a right market, right opportunity to customer, large size of customer needing particular service. ये mindset हमें अगर देखते रहें,
जी.
And then I went on. You know what happened is I met one gentleman, Mr. C.N. Vaze, in Chartered Accountant Fraternity. He's a very respectable name, and I went and told him that, look, I am starting practice. Do let me know if you you have any of your clients need any service. He said, okay, but I heard that there are some more major amendments in Companies Act. Can you give presentation on that in front of 100 chartered accountants? So I said, why not? I will give. And then we slog, because we were very young, only theoretical knowledge. And in front of us, there are going to be chartered accountants who have been practicing in that area for years.
Correct.
And here they will ask me questions and I should be able to answer them. And that presentation happened, and not many people turned up because I was not a known name at that time, obviously. And that seminar he had organized. So whoever believed in him, some 10-15 chartered accountants came. But he was convinced that, boss, bachcho mein na kuch to hai. Probably he felt so. And then he gave me, opened the list of his 50, 60 friends, chartered accountants, whom you can meet. And then we started meeting, and that's how the practice started developing.
Okay, so that is where you got your first set of clients.
Yeah.
So when you gave a presentation,
yes,
ad hoc presentation, which you were not prepared at all.
So I was given a time to prepare. But that gave a lot of confidence to me, and to the audience was very few. But to me, it gave me a lot of confidence that I was ahead of time in terms of that particular piece of knowledge. So that was.
So from what you shared, I understood that your approach is you did not keep any plan B. So like you mentioned, do or die situation, जिंकू किंवा मरू. म्हणजे you decided कि मैं ये professional काम उसको successful करके ही रहूंगा. Right? So you did not have a plan B. And that's how you actually, I think everything is subconscious mind. Once you decide, and that's how you develop yourself to express. Because not all professionals who are very good experts are able to express and communicate in spite of being maybe, excellent in their choice of work.
Absolutely.
Right. Sir, so when you started, you got clients. But then did you meticulously or religiously decide that I'm going to have a few big clients or multiple small, clients? What was your approach?
So the market at that time was of smaller companies only at that time. But there were large groups. So initially, I had, although I always, you narrated it very well that I kept only one option, and therefore that's the strategy. There is no second option, and therefore that's the strategy. The first strategy has to work. So that was the strategy. But in practice, I also decided that on one product and on one customer, my dependence should not be more than 5%.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That does not mean that I will not earn more money from one particular product or one particular client, but that means I need to spread the risk by having more clients and more products and more services.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. So your MO was more clients, more service, more reach, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Sir, when you had this approach, what was your logic as far as pricing was concerned?
Pricing is always market driven.
Hmm.
Pricing is always market driven,
Hmm.
and whatever is sellable in market, that only works. That is very simple. So you have to keep building your product and service so that the pricing level keeps going up. You can get better fees or better price for your product or service. So you have to keep contributing to your product or service.
Hello.
Sir, coming back to the point that you did not have a plan B. So you decided that you will stick to plan A and make it work come what may. So when there are individuals who have, hardly like you have worked hardly for 12 months. So what message would you give to all the aspiring students if they want to start their firm? What should be their beginning? How will they start?
Ardent desire.
Hmm.
Ardent desire. That is the first essential thing, and that can be built also. You can keep building that ardent desire. There are various ways of building ardent desire. Ardent desire is first thing. Rest all things fall in place. We can talk about various other skills also, which are necessary for any professional. If you want me to narrate that.
Yeah, first I would like you to share that, how will they go about getting their first client? Because that first client is very important.
Yeah.
After you have worked under somebody who has given you work, now you have to hunt for work. So how does a
Right.
person begin? Yeah.
Relationships is most important in business. In all consultancy services, trust is most important. Trust on your integrity, trust on your skills, knowledge and skills, and trust on the things once it's given to him, he will do it. And even if there is a mistake, he will rectify it. So that these are 4-5 parameters of trust which every person has to build upon. And how does he builds that? One is his personality, his thinking, because we are not a good actors, and therefore whatever is our thoughts gets reflected on our face. So if
Correct.
integrity is most important. What clients looks at is, will he cheat me? Will he share my data with somebody? Or will he mingle with some competitor and mess up with my data? Will he keep my information confidential? So this is your conduct. This is your conduct. It is either there or it is not there. It cannot be copied. So that is a must for any professional. In fact, your personality should be trustworthy. That comes from culture, sanskars, and your readings, upbringing, your acquaintance, your beliefs. So one can work on those. If somebody gives him a feedback that you need to, confidence नहीं आता है यार तुम्हें देख के, ऐसे किसी ने समझो बोल दिया. Then you can build on that by having these. So you are judged with the people around you. You are judged with who are your clients. You are judged with what you speak, what you do, how you behave, your seniors, juniors, about your competitors, what you speak. All that reflects on your personality. So the world is watching us always. They are assessing, because it's not compulsion that when you approach somebody that he will give work to you. It is rejection is the rule. Getting work is, you need to pass all that elimination test, only then you get. So trust is most important. Trust about all these aspects, which you have to build client. And client test. Client doesn't will not give you big work. Even if he has the feeling that he is a good person, he will first give you a small work. And he would like to keep his risk less. So in terms of payment terms, somewhat fees, he would like to put his risk less when he has not experienced you. So he would like to give you small work. So first of all, in my practice, I always say that relationship starts with question answers. So if you're a doctor, start giving free advice to your patients. Broadcast. If you're a lawyer, start writing about various solutions. If you're a family lawyer, start writing about divorce, about the family partition. Start giving free knowledge, because that's how your trustworthiness about your knowledge will be built, right? And then the first client will come, probably. Somebody may be lucky, so his uncle or chacha or tau or some caste member may say that, okay, we want to promote you, our community, and therefore this boy I should give work. Some people are lucky, so to get that kind of support. So you get them, so most welcome. But again, remember, this is not our birthright. It's not our Janma Siddha Adhikar, like Tilak said, that our Tau or Chacha or uncle will consistently give us work. Because if he mess up his work, then he's not going to give. He wants to support, provided you are at par, if not above others. If at least you should be at par with the other service providers. Only then he will experiment. So whatever first work can either come based on your trust. Trust is based on knowledge. Trust is based on your testimonial. Trust is based on your where do you stay, which are your friends, who are your well-wishers, all of that. And that is for first work. And then second work is always past work.
Easier. Comparatively easier.
Second work is always based on past work. So if the past work is good, then people will trust you. If the past work is not good, then people will have doubts. So, if in any client's place, if we mess up, sometimes we mess up. We are all human, so we make mistakes. Then to change his opinion about you, you have to. We in our MMJC we say that we need to overcompensate that client. You have to do something really extraordinary to gain his confidence back. You cannot complain that I have done 100 centuries before. एक बार मैंने गलती कर दी तो क्या हो गया?
Correct.
गलती की भुगतना तो पड़ सकता है. What kind of punishment client will give, that is up to him. That's not your right.
Correct.
And therefore overcompensate. So I'm going a little further, but as far as getting client is concerned, I think trust development on all these other parameters which I share. If we look at and we should be in abundance. So many people feel कि अरे मैं free में दे दूंगा, फिर क्या होगा, फिर वो free में कर लेगा, करने दो. There is abundance. Not every advice need not be sold. Every relationship need not be milked. Every day you need not make money, but there is abundance in life. There is abundance in life. Like a farmer, he just throws the seeds. So there are 2-3 ways of doing farming. One is not, plowing, and the other way is just to throw the seeds and then let it come like nature does. It happens automatically. I had one very, very important influence of one gentleman. His book I had read, and he said that create a garden. Then butterflies will automatically come. So,
correct.
So what I'm talking about is trust. Is like if we continuously keep making ourselves attractive, come. And even if it doesn't come once, twice, it will come next time. It's okay. Let's not get disheartened.
Joshi ji, Makarand ji.
Yeah.
Right. So when we talk about company secretaries, we have a typical Vruksha personality. But when you are expressing your thoughts, the way to go about, you're very expressive, and you are saying it from the heart. So how important is soft skill for a professional? Because soft skills cannot be measured. Like hard skill, you have this degree, this diploma, right?
Yeah,
and you will learn. But how important is soft skills, especially when you're talking about having your own profession? And which are the ones which you think we should work on?
I think soft skills are very important. Maybe more than domain knowledge. Maybe more than domain knowledge. So, or I would say that, in that Maslow's theory, domain knowledge is the basic. फूड क्लोथिंग सेक्टर, वो तो होना ही है, तो वरना तो प्रोफेशनल है ही नहीं, मतलब दैट्स गिवन, दैट्स एज्यूम्ड. सो वो मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, आई एम वेरी नॉलेजेबल, दैट डजंट मैटर. Are you, or is your knowledge focused towards solving some problem? So that's very important. Many people, we read, and we speak a lot, but we don't solve problems. So that's another. I think orientation towards customer, his needs, his emotional needs, his intellectual needs, his financial needs. We need to be fitting into all that. Very important. Client first. My knowledge second. My knowledge is for client. Not my clients are not for my knowledge. So, that's very important. I think I always say that in Hindu philosophy or Hindu rituals, there are 4 varna, 4 varna: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Okay, and all these 4 skills a professional need to possess. Brahman is Adhyan and Adhyapan. That is knowledge. Most important for any professional. Doctor, engineer, architect, lawyer, company secretary, chartered accountant, cost accountant, merchant, anybody. Knowledge is Brahman. Okay. Kshatriya is fighting spirit. Very important. Not give up. Protect your assets. Protect your territory. Protect your people. Very important skill, which is necessary for a professional. Be judicious. Be judicious. The Raja always has to be judicious. It cannot be arbitrary. About when you are handling your people, handling your resources, using your time. Your time is also for people, right? So Kshatriya, Raja has to be very judicious about using his skills, using his people and all of that. So Kshatriya good. Vaishya, that is Sanchay. Attraction towards money and Sanchay. It's very important, because unless and until there is a cash, you are useless. You cannot sustain. You cannot sell stories. You need to pay salaries. You need to maintain. You need
Absolutely.
Even if you have loss, you need to sustain. So cash is important. So Vaishya. Shudra is most important in professional life. That is Seva. Seva Bhav. Very important. Am I in a Seva Bhav mode? एक क्लाइंट का कॉल आया, अरे क्या परेशान, मैं कैसे उसकी सेवा करूं, क्या उसका प्रॉब्लम है, व्हाट इज हिज प्रॉब्लम फॉर व्हिच ही इज कॉलिंग मी. I should be curious to solve his problem. I should be excited to solve his problem, and that should give a kick. Unless and until there is a seva bhav, you cannot become a good professional. If you are lazy, if you feel that client मेरे घर पे आके मुझे काम देगा, client is calling you at his office, and you say that अरे नहीं अभी कौन आएगा धूप में, then कैसे, then client has many options. Seva bhav. So these 4 we can elaborate each of these in detail, but
correct.
But these are
fascinating. The way you blended the varnas as a professional was amazing. I doubt that I've ever heard something like this, matching the professional work. Amazing. I hope the viewers are understanding, because this is priceless information which is sharing, because we don't connect, these varnas and that knowledge with what we are currently doing. So that is fascinating, sir. Fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing. Sir, so how important is values and habits in life?
Yeah, most important. If you look back at your mistakes, I have made many mistakes as any individual would have done. And whenever there is any mistake which I have done in personal life or in professional life, I have always thought that I have always spent time on finding out why this mistake happened. And deeply, all those mistakes are because of our habits and our value systems. In terms of value, also priority. Okay. For example, if I tell, make a false promise to a client, okay, to win a contract, for example, or just to make more money, that means in my value system, my money is more important than I promise which I make. Okay, then there is a problem. Then you will have a tendency of doing it, not once, maybe repeat. Because whatever is our value system, that keeps guiding us subconsciously. Like, we spoke about how I resigned, or these
Right.
values guide us.
Right.
So if
Right.
I'm okay to cheat somebody one time, it can be my habit. And if it is my habit, if I'm lucky, I may survive in this life. But I'm bound to come in trouble someday. Values and habits are so habits build values, and or our beliefs.
Right.
Beliefs or values, whatever you want to say. I don't want to go into those English differentiation, but our beliefs or our whatever our values get built on our habits. So if we work on our habits, then our values will change,
Right.
and then our behavior will also change. Many, we in our academic world, what we feel is, I will read something and then I will learn. No, it doesn't happen like that. You will understand that it's a good English. You will understand what is written, but that will not be part of you. You truly believe it. If your belief system is that, only then it will become part of you. Otherwise, it, that's why many, there are many people whose comprehension is good, so they can read, memorize, reproduce. They are good in that. But can they do it? Can they practice it? I think it's a big difference. So whenever anybody is speaking high or high values, we मुझे तो पता है, I know everything. गीता भी मुझे पता है, ज्ञानेश्वरी भी मुझे पता है, दासबोध भी मुझे पता है, कंपनीज एक्ट भी पता है, इंजीनियरिंग भी पता है, सब पता है, बट करते क्या हैं? I think that's the most important, and therefore our daily habits play a very, very vital role. What we read, what we listen, what we do in our daily life. Whenever there are problems, how we handle. If I get fearful, what do I do? If I'm feeling overwhelmed, then how I behave. All those spots needs to be observed, and accordingly our habits will have to be changed. So we have to go backward and then see what is the change in habit. So if I put it in commercial language, if I am getting bored talking to people, then I am assuming client, and I am assuming my people. Okay, very dangerous situation. So we need to alert ourselves. No, boss, they have choice. They have choice. And God has blessed me with these people. I should not give second thought in their mind. I should be available.
Correct.
So you push yourself. So maybe tell yourself every day that or look at your bad days. Then you will either fear or the carrot or stick. Either of the two keeps us motivated. So what works at what time? One can always observe that if a stick is not motivating, if carrot is not motivating, then stick will definitely motivate.
Sir, but when you have your own profession, maybe in the beginning there is, a very strong hunger, big hunger. But after some time, when you have your set of clients, and the hunger is a little weaker now, so how you keep yourself motivated to have the same drive, the same determination which you had for your first set of clients? How do you self-motivate yourself?
I think, again, that has automatically taken care of. I'll tell you how. As you narrated, we have a large team, okay? And majority of them are professionals like me. Many of them are more qualified than me. Because I have only one degree, company secretary, and a graduation. I have not acquired more degrees. So there are a lot of other people who are working with me who are more qualified. So like I have individual aspirations in my life, they also have individual aspirations in their life. And if I want to keep this firm intact, then I need to retain people. And if I need to retain people, I need to keep growing. If I keep saying, I can meet their aspiration and my aspirations both, then I will become poorer or they will become poorer. And they will not afford to remain poor, so they will move out. Right? So if I want to retain my organization, then I have to keep hungry. I have to keep myself hungry, restless, anxious, always looking for something new, restless about some weak points as to how can I improve these weak areas of in the firm. I have to be like that, and this my people keep me driving because I have to. This is a recognition. No? MMJC is a large firm, and all
Right.
of that.
Right.
People are happy.
Yes.
People talk good.
Yes.
So retaining reputation, retaining people, then you need to keep growing. You know, there is either a growth or you are going down. You cannot be static.
In between. Correct. Correct.
So
Correct.
that
Sir, you
probably,
have a very large team. 200 people is amazing. But when a person is just starting his professional work, he cannot afford a team. So that is the time when you think of collaborating.
Right.
So what will be the pointers you will share if youngsters want to collaborate and set up their profession? What would be the points or advice you would give?
For youngsters, acquiring money is important, but acquiring wisdom, acquiring skills, acquiring knowledge, acquiring reputation is most important, because we, in professional life, we are like a mango tree, or which will start giving fruits maybe after 5-6 years. Real good sweet mango will happen after 5-6 years, and then it will keep giving. It will keep giving. Unless and until there is a tsunami or a storm, it will keep giving. So in the initial years, if I worry about mangoes, then I will not build mango tree. If I am in hurry to pluck mangoes, फिर कैसे भी खाद डालूं, कुछ भी करूं, लेकिन mango snatch करूं, you should not be in a hurry in young age. We should be more worried about the health of my plant, which is going to give me fruits in future. Okay. But at the same time, I need to keep my life, cycle keep moving. For outside world, you need to be seen as self-sufficient at least. If not very rich, you need to be seen self-sufficient, and that much cash flow you need to generate. So cash flow is important, but making a lot of money. If there is a competition, if I had a choice that I have one client which is giving me a lot of money, and if I have another client, which I have another relationship where I am assisting some senior who may not give me great money, but his acquaintance itself is a certificate for me that I worked with him.
Correct.
Being with him means, inheriting so many thoughts, values, practices, processes from him. Then I will spend little less time with this client who is giving more money. And even if this professional who is giving little less money, I will try to be with him. I will, I will be his disciple. I will be with him. I will give him water. I will wash his clothes. I will do anything for him, because being with him is most important for me.
Right.
Have I been able to communicate?
Yes, absolutely. That means you should practice patience, and what you do while you are waiting is important.
Yeah.
Okay, because that is what is important. It is not just waiting. What you do while you are waiting. So when he mentioned so correctly that waiting for a mangoes to come important. But while you are waiting, you have to continuously nurture that tree.
Yes.
You have to continuously nurture that business of yours. And how do we nurture? It will be very organic. By, like he said, that he will work for an individual who has a lot of wisdom. His association itself will be beautiful for you. His association itself will give you so much. And I think that is having a balance. It is not just money. It is along with money, it is network. Yes, sir, network. So you tell me how. So how important is network for a professional?
Sangeeta, if you allow me, not only individual, large organizations. If you get an opportunity to work with a large organization, if you are a doctor and you have a dream that someday I will set up my own hospital, and if you get an opportunity to work in a large hospital, which is very strong, ethical practice processes, you learn so much about that organization. How the organizations are run, what are those processes. That's very important. And in this journey of creating MMJC, whenever I go to my client, their R&D department, their NPD department, their QA department, have always inspired me, and therefore MMJC has all these departments. We have partner who is R&D, QA, We have NPD, that is new product development. So these I have not learned from any company secretary firm, not a chartered accountant firm, but a food processing company. So it doesn't matter. Uh, so when we are working for a client, he fees to wo dene hi wala hai, right?
जी.
But what you can learn from his, how he takes decision, how he manages people, how he has built organization, how his organization works, how the decisions happen, how the risks are mitigated. Those values, those things are very, very important. So we have to be like a sponge box. जहाँ से मिले उसमें खींचो, खींचो, खींचो.
जी. Correct. Oh, I love that word, sponge box. Sir, you mentioned about that you learned
Yeah.
from a food processing, company about these research and stuff.
Yeah.
So, how have you integrated technology to your profession, sir?
Very important. So, when I was thinking how can I retain my people, then I thought that I need to automate, and then we started spending a lot of resources at our firm level and also money in automation. So one, everybody knows in the Companies Act field, we had developed a mobile app which we have offered for free, where it's appreciated and applauded by everybody in this field, and which is available to everybody. It's a mobile app, very, very popular. So number of company secretaries in India are 57,000, and the total download of that app is close to 2 lakh. Close to 2 lakhs. So all students, chartered accountants, company secretaries use this app. So technology has been one of our very important drive. Automation of documentation. We have spent a lot of time on, and money and technology. We experimented because I was new in this world of technology. So I kept searching for good partners. I changed 2 partners. Now we are settled with 1. So we kept, keep hunting for like-minded partner. Like you mentioned about what can you look at for collaboration. That is also one thing which I would. But technology we have been investing since last 10 years. So transaction process automation. So which transaction is at which stage? How many assignments are with which client or which person? All of that we have automated. Documentation we have automated. Knowledge we have tried to create a repository. So all of this we have been doing to. So automation will give free space to individual so that they can work more on their skills, values. They can be with client and not busy with creating documents. That's very important.
Correct.
So my team can listen to my client, can listen to him. To they are hungry. They have space to do more work. Okay.
Right.
So technology, these are the areas where we have been using it. And I always had, in old days, I had seen one movie. I don't recollect which movie. Balraj Sahni was doctor in that movie, and I saw he doing, nursing also he was doing, in the sense the stitching, the cleaning. So I realized that doctor profession has grown so much in last 70, 80 years now. And now there is so much ultra specialization, ultra specialization. So similarly, our profession, those which are new profession, their processes, simple processes will be done by non-professional, qualified professionals, and so that the technology can take care of that, because we deal with documents, we don't deal with human touch. So we deal with documents, so that can be handled by software. And the professional will have to migrate to higher and higher and higher. So technology we have been, I think I have entered into another territory of generalized practice versus specialized.
That was my question. Yes. So what will be your advice? To be an expert in something or to be a general physician? I was just about to ask you that question. What is your take?
We need to see who am I. For everybody the answer will be different. So for me, I sometimes I felt that I if I would have been in science, then I would have become scientist. I'm a research oriented person. Okay, but I also have a flair of accumulation. So that's why I have built an organization. So this is what I am. I am research oriented. I can be happy doing myself. Am I communicating, Sangeeta? But there are a few individuals who don't
I
like
lost you. Lost you for a few seconds.
first few seconds. So what I'm saying is we need to observe who am I, and accordingly we need to build our organization. If you are a specialist, there are a lot of surgeons who are specialists, who are affiliated with 10 hospitals. And they will just go to the point, perform, exit. They are not interested in building hospital. Okay? They are not interested in assurance that I will have patient every day from the day one. They are ready to wait, right? So they chose that I will specialize. I will give away general, and because specialization happens only when you give away general. Specialization is first rejection, that I will not do common things. Only then I can specialize. I cannot be treating all Tom, Dick, Harry patient every class. और फिर ये भी करूँगा, वो नहीं होगा. Then you are not specialist.
Correct.
So we need to understand who am I. If you like to deal with a lot of people, you will like to be like Makarand Joshi, who has engaged so many people. But if you are a person who loves working at his desk, then you should join such organization which will give you such canvas, who will appreciate your talent and who will join you, give you a canvas that this is a space you enjoy. This is all is yours.
Correct.
So then we should not. सब दोस्त practice में आ गए इसके लिए मुझे भी नहीं जरूरत नहीं है. Because ultimately being happy is most important at the end of the day.
Correct, sir. So you put it so beautifully that find out what you like doing best and get someone to pay you for doing it. That's it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that becomes your profession.
What you like, you start doing it.
Right.
Many people tell me, मैं बोलता हूँ फलाना experience है क्या? पर नहीं sir, past employment में नहीं था. तुमने क्या किया फिर? What did you do? If you wanted this experience, you can get. Nobody can stop you. I always say that if you are lucky, you are Arjun. Okay, but even if you are not so lucky, you can be Eklavya. Who stops you from being Eklavya?
Fabulous. I absolutely adore the analogies you are giving. Sir, if you have not written any blogs or books, please start. Sir, multiple questions.
Yeah.
So multiple questions. When you mentioned about integrity, when you mentioned about abundance, has there been any instance when there has been a tussle of integrity and materialism, and you have actually said no to clients? And if you have, why did you say no to clients?
It's a very, very, it's a walk of wisdom. Now this may become a little complicated, but everybody knows all principles. But when two principles conflict with each other, the person who has asked this question, I don't know, compliments to him first of all. Or this your question, then compliments to you first, man.
Yes, thank you.
But which principle to be chosen at what time is a wisdom. And for that, in the initial years, I think it's a hunger, first of all, that I keep experimenting, keep listening to your own call and take your choices. But you make mistakes. I have made many mistakes in my life. And from each of the mistakes, as I was narrating earlier, I have not looked at solving only that problem, but I have tried to make a generalized policy and processes to minimize that kind of an error happening again in life. So two principles conflict. Yes, many times it conflicts, and you have to experiment and then see what is best suitable for you. And if you have some mentor with you who can handhold, that will be great. But if you are not getting anybody, it's okay. If your hunger will get you some mentor someday.
Very nice. Sir, may I take more questions and your time, sir?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to say sorry for the technical glitch. And thank you, Kalpana. Thank you, Kavita. Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Saroj. Thank you, Anilji. Thank you, Jyotsna. Nitinji Poddar is here with us. He says, fully agree,
Wow.
Makarand Joshi, on what you said on value system, which depends on our habits. Great insight. Anilji Garg says, excellent articulation of four Varnas, qualities to coexist in a profession. Kavita Patil says, yes, sir, very well said. Retaining people to keep growing. Very well clubbed examples of mango tree related to growth. Thank you, Kavita. Thank you, Devendra Shete. Thank you, Anilji. Thank you so much. Keep your questions coming. Of course, I'm going to ask him a few more questions too. Sir, what would you give more importance to? You would give more importance to knowledge or skill?
If I have to choose,
Yes.
skill.
Why?
Skill gives you livelihood.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
survival is first. If I have to choose between the two,
Hmm.
if I can afford
Hmm.
to romance with knowledge, because there is
Hmm.
abundance of cash, then
Hmm.
knowledge.
Hmm. Hmm.
But if I'm in the initial years, skills
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
most important. Once you have enough money and no problem, I can postpone it. I can acquire skills tomorrow.
Hmm.
Then I can definitely acquire more knowledge.
Right. Right. Sir, you have lot of
Also,
wisdom.
I
I
have,
think you. Hmm.
Sangeeta, I answered this from the point of view of youngsters, that skill versus
Yes,
knowledge.
yes, 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 yes. Sir, you have so much of information and knowledge about so many things. So, if I may understand, who is your inspiration and which books do you read to keep yourself, abreast with knowledge?
Actually, thanks to my mother, she cultivated
Hmm,
this habit of reading in
hmm,
me. So
hmm,
we used to go and buy books in the school days, and that's
hmm,
how that
hmm,
habit continued. So initially
hmm,
stories.
hmm,
When I started CS, no books, only Companies Act and all the
hmm,
domain related, subject related books. When I started
hmm,
practice, then I started reading again. My
hmm,
reading always had a purpose of
hmm,
self-development. I don't
hmm,
read for
hmm,
entertainment, and this has
hmm,
continued even now. Whatever I read for
hmm, hmm,
self-development. So even if I'm reading stories, it is for self-development because I
hmm,
love
hmm,
to observe behavior of individuals, and that gives me insight
hmm,
about individual
hmm,
psychology. Uh,
hmm, hmm,
so
hmm,
everything is for self-development.
hmm,
It's not just entertainment. So
hmm,
always. So
hmm,
I started reading. I started reading many, biographies of many people,
hmm, hmm, hmm,
either auto or biographies. Somebody
hmm,
written
hmm.
on him or he him. Generally, I have read
Right.
somebody written on people. So I
Hmm,
kept reading. Many leaders I
hmm,
read,
hmm,
and then ultimately I settled. I started with Shivaji. I
hmm,
came back to Shivaji,
hmm, hmm, hmm,
and then I went back to Shri Krishna uh,
hmm,
and Shri Ram. So I think
hmm,
in leadership, these two, three themes. So Shri Krishna, Shri Ram are not history; they are mythology.
hmm. Right,
Shivaji is
right.
history. So he was real.
Correct.
He
Hmm,
happened. He died. He
hmm,
fought. He won. He lost. You know, and his life has been an inspiration for
hmm,
me. And in the
hmm,
recent time, my
hmm,
inspiration has been Tilak
hmm,
most. I connect with him because there is a coincidence.
hmm.
His death anniversary, his Punyatithi is on 1st August, and my birthday is 1st August. So there is a coincidence.
Hmm,
But
hmm,
his values. So these are some books. Many books I
hmm,
read on
hmm,
majority on
hmm,
biographies. I
hmm,
I studied Lenin. I studied Lincoln. I studied Hitler. Uh,
hmm,
you know, all big leaders of the world. I tried to Napoleon. Uh,
hmm,
so
hmm,
many Bajirao, so many leaders and warriors. I kept reading. Uh,
hmm,
and these days, then in the phase come of there was a phase in my life where
hmm,
my reading reduced and my
hmm,
thinking increased
hmm, hmm, hmm.
because I read less because I have a good library at my home. I have I have. What I buy, my wife always tells me that, I tell her that you go to sari shop, I will go to Crossroads. So,
Bookshop.
or I will go to Majestic. So,
Correct.
I get lost there, and I can spend hours. So then I started reading less, but focus on implementation. I have tried to improve. Whatever we read, we implement. That is most important. And lately, some books like Bhagavad Gita, Vinoba Bhave's, he has written some pravachans, Gita pravachan, small book, and which he shared when he was in jail on Bhagavad Gita. It's a small book, very simple. Very simple book, the most simplified, and this is one thing which I like. Always, I don't like complicated things. I like to make them simple, so that I can practice it, and I can tell my team also to practice it. If it is very complicated, it will be very difficult for me to pass on. So
correct.
I like to
that
make
is
it
why
simple.
You like autobiographies. So I think for you, the criteria is they have to be thought-provoking and they have to be simple so that you can share. That is your ultimate motive, right?
So somebody should have done all the hard work.
Yes, absolutely. But it is essential to share. And when you share, you retain it and it becomes concrete. And then, you start thinking on a different sphere, which you had never before. Sir, I will take a question from one of our Swaayambhu mentors, Anilji Garg here. Will you please throw light on how to ensure that the customer realizes the importance you are giving to the client? Many times some member of your team is very casual and the customer or the client is dissatisfied.
Right. So I have understood. I think he's trying to make 2-3 points. One is, if your team is not convinced about giving comfort to client, what do you do? And if you have to rectify, how do you rectify?
Yes.
I think these are 2 broad points which I could hear from his question.
Yes.
So one principle which we try to follow is that there is no assurance that me and my team will not make mistake. There is no assurance. So I used to struggle a lot initially. Like, aise mistake ho gayi? How can I make such mistake? How can my teams make such mistakes? So mistake ho gayi. First is admission. I have never ever fought with any client कि मेरी mistake नहीं है. Okay. In the initial years, let me share with you. When I had similar problems, when my systems were not so robust, then we in our professional life we have to submit documents with regulator, and there's some filing fee. If you don't submit it on time, then there are late fees and all of that.
Right.
So I expanded, and then my control was weak. This is way back in 2002, 2003, and there were a lot of delays in filing. So I paid all that. All late fees I paid. Okay, and this is the culture in MMJC even today. That if there is a delay from our side, we will pay. And then I developed a practice that it will be distributed. Not the firm will not pay entire. The person who is involved, he will also be pinched.
Correct.
Yeah. So
hello, sir.
That's principle. Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Sir, we have lost you.
Hello.
Hello, Rohit. Are you there?
Yeah, I am able to hear you, Sangeeta. Rohit. Hello. Yeah. Rohit, are you there? Yeah, Sangeeta is back.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
No problem.
Yes.
So principle number 1 is admit mistake. That builds your credibility. People are okay that my consultant makes mistake, so long as he's taking responsibility and rectifying it.
Right.
This is most important, and making your people also accountable equally like you, so that although nobody likes to get penalized, but they accept it. So this is a culture of MMJC. So if I make mistake, I will also have to spend some money. So that keeps my people on toes. And two, because this is only rectifying what has happened, but that doesn't change the experience of a client. His experience also needs to be changed. So at the end, so I keep looking for an opportunity where I will offset that experience, where with an aha experience, so that I can replace his memory about MMJC service. And my team also keeps talking that I will overcompensate that point. You'll see to it that overcompensate, not monetary terms, obviously, by providing better and best service. Something which he has not expected, something which he has not asked, but something which he will like.
Yes. So something added value.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Sir,
yeah,
you are reading, you are observing people to understand their psychology. You have so many clients, 1,500 plus top companies are your clients. How do you manage time?
Allocation. So first, what I want to achieve. I'm that way very planning oriented person. I don't like ad hoc work that way. I prepare for plan. I prepare for month, year, week, days, hours. This plan. So, I also keep these days some free time where I have not planned anything for recreation to keep just something, because creativity gets killed when it is over planning. So, so I keep some space where there is no plan. Time. At least on weekends, I prefer that there is no planning these days. But planning time allocation, bucketing, communicating, advance. Now in my office, everybody knows that he generally, unless it is very urgent, he cannot just pick up the phone and talk to me. He will message me. I always tell my people also that it is not necessary that every time people will keep calling you, and then you will get somebody calls and you start his work. ऐसे नहीं. अभी मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ. Let me finish that. Your number will be. So planning, prioritizing, bucketing, reviewing, effectiveness of utilization of your time is very, very essential. And nobody is perfect in this world, but this is my attempt.
Yes, so wonderfully said. Planning, prioritizing, delegating work to the right person, the right work to the right person, team building, stress management. I think these are the very important soft skills we need to work on. So there is one question from an aspiring professional. Sir, how should a new organization promote itself in its initial days?
I think probably you were not there initially. Who is this?
Rohit.
Hi, Rohit. So in the initial days, as I was telling, mango tree versus, you need to check whether you have so much patience. There are various type of people. There are industrialists. There are contract manufacturers. There are traders. There are service providers. So, and there are farmers. And in farmer also there are horticulturists. There are regular 3-month crop farmers. So, what kind of a personality you have? Depending on that, you can start building your organization. If you are a trader person, then start trading. Look at for what is available, what is the demand, and see where you can buy that product or service and offer it. So it all depends. If you're a trader, then investing a lot in plant and machinery and research is not relevant. Then information is important. Real-time information is most important, and networking and connection are most important. If you are product manufacturer, then you need to spend on research, development, quality assurance. And that require also capital. So you require relationship with partners who are providing you funding. So what is your strength? And we have to build our story based on our strength. And each individual is unique. God has created everybody unique and special. So we have to build on our strength, and you will observe from your behavior from childhood, from or whatever you ask yourself that what you would like to do, and whatever your mind tells you, that's right for you.
Right, right.
That's right for you. There is nothing right and wrong. There are no general answers. How I build, I shared with you that relationship, trust,
Yes.
answering questions for free, giving knowledge for free. That's how I believe. That's my belief system. I don't believe that somebody will. That's my problem also. Sometimes that's a problem. That unless and until I've invested enough, I don't expect a business. But it depends on your personality. Most important is you should want business. Ardent desire to do business, to solve some problem and make money. These are most important. Once these things are there, your instinct will tell you what you should do the next. So I think we can work on increasing our hunger and clarity of vision. Other things will follow. They say, I keep telling my people, when there is a fielder, cricket, when there's a fielder who is trying to take a catch, he doesn't look at his hands. He just looks at the ball. Your legs, your hands, everything will fall in place if your eyes are on ball. So what is the ball? My customer, his problem, what is the service which I am going to give? Rest things, your mind will tell you, your universe will reciprocate.
Correct. So this is when you have this vision, when you have this clarity that ultimately I want to satisfy and service my client no matter what. That is when you will not be at the mercy of credit points, marks, increment, promotion, appraisal to grow. You will evolve because your goal is very clear. I want to give the best service to my client. So whether I'm 1 year old in my profession or 20 years old in my profession, this is exactly what keeps him going, and this is why he's able to have a fantastic word of mouth, and that is his goal. He doesn't let that deviate his focus at all. Sir, splendid. We have got some more questions. If I can take 2 or 3 questions more, sir.
Sure.
Great. So we have a question from Miss Kavita Patel. Sir, sometimes our values clashes. Then how do we handle that in business? Priorities and values. I think it is in conjunction to the question which I asked earlier, but nevertheless, sir.
I think one thing I will tell you, values without cash, they don't, we are not that powerful people. We are not Gandhiji. We are, little substandard. Our values are not that high. So cash, you should have enough cash to take care of your livelihoods, right? And for getting that cash, you don't have to compromise with values. I don't think so. There is abundance in life. And there are enough opportunities which will give you cash, so that you are not suffocating to compromise. Am I communicating? Huh?
Yes, you are. What comes to my mind when I listen to you was, हम नहीं सैटर्न है, ना ही हम संत है, हम है सिंपल सीधे साधे ह्यूमन बीइंग, और हर ह्यूमन बीइंग को ये तो लगने ही वाला है. So I don't think we have to put ourselves in the category of Satan and be evil. Neither do we have to be on the category of Sant and just give away everything. We have to just try to be righteous human being, do the right thing, give ourselves respect, and earn abundance so that we can share abundance. Is that the summation correct, sir?
Absolutely. And ensure that your time allocation is such that if you are young, in a younger age, when you have not created a big empire, if your bank balance is not safe enough to take care of your life forever, then this kind of suffocating in situations come in early years of life. Cash nahi hai. My mother will ask me, my wife will ask me, or my husband will ask me, whoever is going to ask you, or going to need money from you. Your closed one needs to be taken care. That is necessary, and that's the first priority. That's why I said that between skill and knowledge, skill is important. Skill gives you more money majority of the time. For knowledge to give you money, you need to be Vata Vruksha. You need to be 10, 15-year-old. Earlier, nobody will give you for knowledge. Nobody will believe that you are knowledgeable so much that they will pay money for you.
Right. Right. Amazing. Amazing. Sir, fantastic answer deta apan. And sometimes I forget you are, a founder of a company secretary firm. The way you are sharing information, which is, our life is a blend of our profession. Our profession is a part of our life. So, sir, when you said you have to check out who am I, sir, this is the final question I will ask you. Sir, when you said who am I, it is a very important question. We just can't frivolously, superficially conclude that this is what I am. So sometimes there is a tussle whether I am born to be a follower or whether I am born to be a leader. Sometimes there is a tussle that should I work, under somebody, or should I start my own? It's not very easy because there is a lot at stake. And the world is very, very cruel. If you make a mistake, you are gone. Defeat is no doubt important because you learn a lot from defeat. But some people don't have that, freedom or that cushion to make a mistake. Like you said, you jumped for it and it happened. You gave it your go. But people are really scared, of. So how will you tell them to be self-aware? How will they check who am I and accept it?
I think leaders are exception, right? Generally, their leaders are less. Managers are many. Managers are many. If you are unhappy with whatever you are doing, seriously unhappy, after some time everything becomes boring. That's not unhappiness. That only means that you need some change in life. It's little change.
Correct.
But if you are really unhappy, restless, if you are working under somebody and if you are restless, working under somebody, then you are leader. If you are not restless, then you are not leader. So your inner instinct will tell you. If you are leader, you are leader. There is a book of I think who is that? Robin Sharma. Leadership without title. Leader doesn't require title. You put him at any place, he is leader.
Correct.
Okay.
There goes the bell. There goes the bell. Yes.
And with the last one, it is not that only leaders are great. Tanaji is equally great as Shivaji is. So never feel that I'm not leader. That means there is a problem. I'm not hero. No, you are also a hero. Ajay Devgan made 400 crore rupees film on you.
Fabulous. Sir, when people come to you, they come to you as a company secretary, but I think they stick to you because you are a fabulous company, sir.
Thank you.
You are a fabulous company. So I think we have learned so much from him. And believe you me, I didn't know that he has got so many layers and so many elements to his profile, besides his professional profile. So amazing, sir. It was splendid listening to your thoughts. I'm so grateful and thankful for you to come over on Getting Candid and sharing your expertise, knowledge and wisdom with our viewers. Thank you, Bhavna. Thank you, Kavita. Thank you, Jyotsna. Thank you, Devendra ji, Anil ji, Nitin ji. Thank you for your questions and joining and participation. Swaayambhu is all for academically unfulfilled youth in the age of 20 to 30. I get repeated questions saying that, Madam, is there any hidden cost? There is no hidden cost. Your transformation is the only remuneration we see. This because I think a few of them see episodes where I may not have mentioned this and think there is some charges. there are no charges, no membership fees, no money, no transaction. This is purely as a passion that we are doing it. And we absolutely are obliged and thankful for your company, for the questions you send us, the queries which you have, and for connecting with us. Getting Candid is blessed to have you. And we have got fantastic mentors and Swaayambhus who are ready to share their sharp silver mind and also their golden heart with us. So, saying, please join us tomorrow at 3 o'clock once again, so that you understand about how to build your zing quotient. Zing quotient, okay? So I think to understand what is zing, please connect with us tomorrow. And saying thank you, sir, once again. Thank you, viewers. Wishing you all a beautiful Saturday. See you tomorrow. And as always, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir.